When I was a child, I won a VHS from a local grocery store in a counting contest. It was the first and last time I ever wanted anything to do with math. In fact, it might actually explain my lifelong phobia of all things numerical. Except money math. I have all the money. There I was, 3 years old, scooched about an inch from a ginormic TV, waiting to see the wonders my prize held. My parents were in the room, unaware of the horror that was to follow, although apparently my sister said they had taken her to see this movie, so they should have frickin' known. Anyway. What followed was the stuff of nightmares. A horrible monster terrorized a helpless child, robots invaded houses, and pizza was shamefully wasted. Until the age of 15, I had recurring nightmares about this creature. I watched the tape repetitively because I couldn't get the images out of my head. Was my young mind ensnared by evil? Or was it a mere foreshadowing of the obsessive nerd I would become? Oh, Billy West, you voiced so many of the characters on Futurama. Well, it could be anything. And what was the name of this mind-bending feature, you ask? E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. Rebecca, you say. E.T. wasn't scary. Look, he was sweet and lovable. It's a feel-good kids movie. Aww. Bullshit. E.T.'s the very first scary thing I can remember seeing on a TV screen. And I'm not alone in this. Thanks to the internet, I know that I am not some kind of lone freak. So, what made this movie so horrible? Let's dive right in and find out. First of all, the music is terrifying. I love me some John Williams, but this does not scream lovable Jesus allegory. Beautiful forest overlaid with, what is that? That looks like a Christmas tree mated with the Death Star. And apparently these are all monsters according to John Williams' score here. What the heck? Is Space Jaws about to start a killing spree or what? Or maybe the F.A.O. Schwartz tree here is going to take care of it. After the aliens get their heart on, finally meet E.T. Sort of. A squat figure traipses through the forest and looks down on L.A. I'm not sure what this scene is supposed to evoke, maybe how fragile the ETs really are, or how they're fascinated with us as a species. In the novelization, we get a much more in-depth look at E.T., who is a botanist and has been captured on Earth before due to his fascination with people. Yes, I read the novelization. I am that obsessed with this movie. Cheese it, the fuzz! Get your weed and bail, E.T.! Turns out it's actually NASA out there alien hunting. And understandably, E.T. freaks out. This is where the horror really sets in. Just listen. It's like someone is torturing a chicken with a cat. So, small surprise, E.T.'s left behind, and then decides to make his way toward the city where nobody will find him. In the book, it says that he wants to peek in windows one last time before he dies of starvation. You know, for kids! We finally meet our protagonist, Elliot, as well as his friends, the most stereotypical D&D nerds since, well, D&D of the TV show. While retrieving mana for the intrepid nerd, something catches Elliot's eye. Ah! A ball! Enemy to all nerds! So, Elliot goes back inside to warn everybody, at which point they joke around and proceed to grab knives. Ha! Maybe this is shorter than I thought.
There's nothing in here.
But no, the shed is just full of pots. Well, it was California in the 80s. I mean, look at the neighbors.
Anything, it's genetic.
But Elliot knows it's real and is determined to prove it. Oh god, it knows you saw it. Flee, Elliot! Flee! No, don't go looking for it in your pajamas in the cornfield? What the hell? This is a suburb. Why is there a cornfield? And now we come to the big one. This is the moment that solidified the horror of E.T. for me. The inhuman screams. The terrifying face of the horrible monster that is about to pop up on my screen and, what the fuck is that? Right, this is the re-release edition with the new effects. Here's the original footage. Something about that audio and that robotic movement is just wrong. The next day, Elliot, despite all logic, still wants to go find the thing. And being a kid, he figures candy will work. Actually, Elliot is pretty well written and acted. You'd believe he was a normal kid thrust into unnormal circumstances. Really, it's the same for his mother, brother, and sister. And all three actors would go on to... never mind. Here's some profanity.
Maybe an elf or a leprechaun.
It was nothing like that, penis breath!
Ah, the life of a single parent. Oops, made the MILF cry. Time for another eerie alien scene. Seriously, this is presented to be terrifying. That light, the sound, the music. Elliot's expression all scream, "Kids, this alien is bad news. Stay away!" But, to my eternal surprise, it doesn't end in bloodshed. Aw, look, he was just hungry and— Ah! Who let that thing inside? We finally get our first look at E.T., who, when he's not screaming, isn't all that scary. According to the designers, it was supposed to be a little bit like Einstein and a pug mixed together. Personally, I see more of a resemblance to Michael Jackson. Right down to watching little boys sleep. And in case you forget, the evil government is still looking for him. How dare they try to protect innocent citizens from what may be a hostile alien invasion? Damn you, big government! I'm on to you, Obama! Next day, Elliot fakes sick so he can spend all day with his new friend. He then introduces him to Earth nerdism, Star Wars, Jaws, and Hot Wheels.
Greedo. And then
Yes, Steven, we know you know George Lucas. We don't care. Plus, we see some indicators that Elliot and E.T. are bonding. But no time for that, we've got to shove in a badly CGI'd scene for the re-release. In the novel, E.T. can breathe in water, which is what this scene is supposed to show. It was cut for various reasons, so when we see him in the river later, well, it doesn't exactly look as family-friendly. Go away, kid, you bother me. Yeah. Elliot decides to show his brother Michael, who reacts completely appropriately. As Gertie. Seriously, what is wrong with Elliot? Was he conceived during the pot years? Damn, he had a hell of a closet. These kids seriously look like siblings. Way to go, Spielberg. Evil government! So, when the kids try to figure out where E.T. is from and why he's there, something unsettling happens. Apparently E.T. has powers beyond the scope of Aquaman after all. It's Marvel Girl level of levitation. Truly, the government must be shaking in its boots. Seriously, we could take that thing out with a BB gun. It might be terrifying, but a xenomorph he ain't. Trust the evil government not to care. Damn you, Ross Perot! And he's also got the powers of poison ivy. Also the power of camouflage. Okay, this is starting to turn into the Predator. Next day at school, Elliot faces some difficulties. You're telling me bonding on a spiritual level with an alien had a negative implication? Well, I never. Also, fun fact, that faceless teacher is Harrison freaking Ford. Apparently showing his face would be too distracting to the audience, so Spielberg just had his hands in the shot. Way to go. E.T. discovers the power of booze. Party over here! Let's get retarded! Let's get retarded in here! E.T. is supposed to be a stand-in for a father figure for Elliot, and it's spot on, right down to drinking before noon, wandering around in a bathrobe, and screwing up his kid's life. You into Star Wars? No! Kirk all the way! You're dead to me. Holy crap, a newspaper, I remember those. And if you're too young to remember them, you make me feel really old. So, E.T. figures out a way to reach his people. And in response, Elliot joins PETA and then has a special guest appearance on Law & Order SVU.